Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Unfairly back here with some more Marathon PvP content. Today we're going to be getting into a follow-up video of our last one, showing you exactly how you really don't need the best loot in the game to ultimately come out on top in fights where you may be outplayed, outgunned, or outnumbered. You really can use your kind of skill base, your brain power, and your decision making to substitute for that better loot. And it'll ultimately allow you to come out on top in fights where you really shouldn't have pretty consistently. So before we get into it, we're just going to be getting into a couple different scenarios with that kind of topic. A few different maps. We have Perimeter, Outpost, and Cryo Archive in the lineup today. Before we really start, I just want to let you know the Marathon Masterclass Discord is alive and thriving. We are in there about 450, 460 strong, always sharing progress, asking questions, chatting with each other, trying to become overall better players, using each other's kind of skills and knowledge. So come on and join by. The link is in the bio and in the description of the video, but let's get into it here. So we're going to start off on Outpost here. As you can see, like I said, we're running the free kits here. So we just have the Overrun AR, which is a piece of crap, no attachments. We don't have any grenades. We have no shields. We have the bare bones, the poor meds. So again, we're going to be showing you how you can use the skill, decision making, and your patience really to come out on top in these fights where you really shouldn't have. So we get a lot of shots in here. It seems like AI. We're really trying to look for exactly what's going on. You can see that we're a bit spread out here. Just kind of like we've talked about in the previous videos, trying to really contain the unknown. We know that there was some sort of commotion in here, and so we have one on height, we have me on the kind of edge corner here, and then we have our kind of random going out further just to, again, encircle the unknown, try to figure out what is in here, where these people are, and make sure that the least amount of chances is that one of them is to one of our backs. So we have effectively minimalized that chance. So again, we're going to be listening out for the audio cues. Teammate ends up going down. I spot two of them down here. We're going to play very slow. Notice how I don't run, sprint, or make any sort of reactive audio cues off the rip. Even though my teammate goes down, normally kind of your, I guess the panic or natural instinct would be to kind of start running towards the teammate or towards the danger to engage it. But we're going to play it super calm here and let the situation develop and let our kind of next step to the resolution of this fight appear in front of us. We're going to let it present itself to us instead of trying to chase it. So we're going to put one down here. Just notice how I don't instantly go back for this finish. I know that I have a pretty bad weapon, and I know that, of course, now that I put this person down, he may have gotten a tag on me, or at least he called out my position, so I can reasonably expect that the other two people are going to be coming towards me, and so I want to be ready to take that next actual engagement, as opposed to being kind of focused on getting this down person and chasing them into the bottom, where I'm kind of already in an advantageous position in a semi-height. We're going to go invisible. Very important.
No fucking behind you.
You can see that we go into our small height position. I have always been someone who has said that anytime you can get a height position in this game, whether it is literally on top of a rock that's super high or just on top of something that's maybe a hitbox or too high, the height advantage is always going to give you that outplay potential, and it's always, even if it's not kind of the craziest height like you see here, we get this guy off guard. But for this second guy, more importantly, he heard the shots come from right here, and he knows his teammate just got down from right here. His teammate got shot in the back and says, I got shot in the back. There's only so much reasonable space that he can be shot from. And so his other teammate that's rushing me from the bottom mid coming up these stairs here, he knows that I'm here somewhere. But the fact that I take the slightest effort to take this high position, even though it's maybe 1-2 hitboxes high, his aimer, he comes out here and his crosshair is right here, head level. And just the fact that I'm up here on the height of this position, even if I didn't have the invisibility, it would take him an extra half second to adjust his aim and start putting fire on me. But I'm able to just continuously put shots on him before he even has a chance to look up and return a single shot. And you'll see that later in some of these clips as well. That slight height position will always get you more information and give you an advantage in some of these fights. And you're actually going to see it in this clip as well. So this one, you might say that I am carrying some crazy weapons: gold sniper, gold, shields, gold backpack. This was actually a perimeter foundation challenge, which is something going around the community where you load up into a match of perimeter with your best kind of gold loot, and you either need to die or extract. And if you die, you ended up making a donation to the regular kind of casual players of perimeter. So I think it's kind of a nice thing. And then once you do it, you get to nominate a few others. So I definitely nominated some people that I think would have their palms sweating with their type of vault. So this is what I'm doing. I'm looking at exfil. I was waiting on an exfil in mid, and then I hear this vault go off. I hear that kind of key jingle. And so I have a couple people watching the clip or the VOD or the stream at this time, so I'm kind of trying to show out. I don't want to just extract and get out. I already have a couple kills, but I want to put on a show. So knowing this is map knowledge, knowing that key room opens a door which heads to kind of my direction, I can get that instant snipe on him, and it was silenced. It was a silenced snipe, so he really doesn't know exactly where I was or where I shot from. I'm doing the smart thing though. I'm rotating around, knowing that there's a separate exit over here, and I know that I can go ahead and cut him off effectively. And we see the smoke, and then we see him. So you can just see the misdirection of counter rotating or not peeking from the same spot that they expected you. He got shot from over here. He thinks that I could be up here or I could be somewhere near Holler, but instead, from the original point I shot and contacted him, I moved away from it and re-peeked from a different position, and you can see he put smokes and he's actively looking this way. He doesn't think that I'm here, and just by doing that kind of extra kind of effort movement, we get behind him, get this free shot on him, and you'll see how we can go ahead and finish this fight up. Now I'm going to play very patient here, because what are we looking at here? We're playing super patient. We're checking right, checking left. Even though I got a crack on him, I'm not pushing him. Even though I got a crack on him, I'm not pushing him. Why, you may ask? Because I am in a position where I have all of his sight lines for exit covered. If he tries to run back to Holler, he's getting sniped between here and there. If he tries to run towards North Relay, he's coming into me, and I'm still going to have better sight lines than him. So I'm knowing he's kind of trapped, scared, and unaware of where the shots are coming from because of the silent sniper. I'm going to kind of hold this advantage and work it and not kind of push out and give up my advantage. I'm going to, again, let the next step for the resolution of the fight present itself to me. I'm not going to force it whatsoever.
He shot with a bullet. I doesn't know.
Checking all the exit lines, making sure he's not running towards Holler.
Unless he focuses you like straight lines your ass.
Throw your smoke back. Make it a distraction.
And so he starts throwing smoke grenades off to the right. Being that this person, he actually sniped me earlier in the game and we were playing a cat and mouse, so I know, plus the fact that he was doing a key, I know that he's competent. He probably has decent loot, and so he probably has a little bit more skill or confidence than the average player. And so I think that I kind of maybe give him a little bit too much credit here, where he throws a couple smoke grenades out this way. I know he doesn't have his ult because he just used it. He throws a couple smokes out this way, and I think that he was maybe throwing them just so I would get baited into thinking he's running away, and then he would make a beeline to Holler while I'm checking out the smoke. But he ends up actually taking this smoke advantage and utilizing it. What he does is, since the assassin goes invisible every time you touch smoke, he's throwing a smoke grenade every maybe 30 feet. So he can tap this, go into the first smoke, tap it, get invisible, and then be invisible on his way to the next smoke where he refreshes the invisible and make his way towards me. So this is actually a pretty aggressive play on his part, which I wasn't actually expecting at first, but you'll see how this patience allows me to counter that and really just, again, take the fight one step at a time and find the resolution.
I was pushing it right.
He's throwing smokes. He's throwing smokes.
So I can hear his invisibility kind of trigger on that first smoke, so I do know he's committing to the smokes. I'm watching very carefully for his outline of his invisibility. Again, playing so patient. Even though I get hits on him, I don't immediately rush him because he's very ready, holding that corner cover very, very disciplined. And then he ends up throwing a grenade, which is going to bounce here, and would, if I didn't throw down this bubble shield and rushed in, that would have cracked me, and he would have been able to re-peek me and put me down instantly. But the fact that I do the hesitation, and when he throws the grenade, it bounces off my bubble shield, but I actually peek out of the bubble shield and throw a grenade back at him to crack him, and then step back into the shield to tank his grenade blast. And now, knowing that I have this advantage, what are we going to do? Again,
What the fuck?
height.
Yeah.
Height is so important in a fight. It is unexpected. It takes your hitbox. Height takes your hitbox out of their kind of working, I guess, RAM or processing. They need to make that extra second to half second adjustment to even get their crosshair on you to begin returning fire. The fact that I jumped up there, even if it's just a hitbox high, you can see how he thinks that I'm kind of working I'm playing Ring Around the Rosie around the rock with him. He thinks that I'm kind of ducking back behind the rock to counter him and then coming back. That's why he's running back and forth trying to figure out which way I'm coming from. But he doesn't realize I'm on top of him, just shooting him constantly. You can see how a good player with an advantage, confidence, and a plan can get absolutely put on their ass by those simple kind of things. And even if I didn't have like a purple bully or anything like that, if I was up there again with a gray overrun AR, he's still not even looking at me, and I'm putting those free shots on him, taking him down, literally making this person look silly. So again, taking that small height advantage, no matter how high it is going to be so advantageous for you. Just want to watch this back one more time. Instant bubble shield. Trade the grenade. He takes the grenade. The bubble shield tanks it for me. And then look, he still doesn't know. He thinks I'm left. He tries to dip back right. Never once looked up at me. Never once looked up at me. And so now, we take down arguably the best player in the lobby. And we get not only his loot, but we get all the loot that he just got in his key room as well.
Drop the bird shit. You know that bird shit.
So again, guys, even though I have this loot, none of that loot played a factor in what I just did there, or those advantages that I worked or created to win that fight. So here we're on Cryo. What a great comm. Miss Raya's out. Playing your weapon to the scenario that you're in. Playing your weapon to the ranges or the sight lines. You always want to have the appropriate weapon out for what you're doing in that very moment. And so this is another kind of, again, something you can just use your brain power. Play on human instincts rather than their skills in the game. These people, we're kind of listening. We hear them. And we know that they're going to come to this door to come towards the center of the map. And so we're doing kind of the easiest thing. We don't need any really too good loot for this. We are literally just playing on human surprise.
If you get pinged, then ping. I think they're coming up here.
And so you're going to see that these people come to open the door, and we didn't do anything too skillful. Our weapons really didn't matter here. All we really do is end up getting the jump on these people. And if we didn't get the jump on these people, you'll see how bad it could have been.
Nice.
Teammates absolutely chatting in while I'm healing. And so we just got the easiest wipe of our lives. And look at the weaponry that they had. These, in a traditional fight, would have destroyed our team in seconds. And look at all these grenades, too. If we somehow didn't surprise them and use kind of our brain power and our decision-making, this is something that they would have wiped us so easily. The grenades, we would have been grenade spam. This would have been one of the hardest fights of our lives that, in all likelihood, I will go out and just say that we probably would not have won it in a traditional fight. But just playing on those human instincts, every person gets surprised no matter how good or trained or skilled they are. You can play on human emotions, confusion, surprise, fear. You can work these things in the game even though you're playing on a screen. actions that you take have real life impacts on the other player's decision making and thought process. And so using these kind of traditional kind of carrot on a stick over a hole methods are super effective despite the difference in the loot or skill level or positioning between you and the other team. You're always going to be able to use these kind of core human exploits to overpower teams if you make the correct decisions and have the correct patience and discipline about those. So yeah, that's a couple clips that I have for this week so far. We have a long weekend ahead of us, cryo and ranked. Hopefully, going to be pushing to diamond and stocking up our vault more in cryo. We had a great day yesterday on Thursday, so I hope you guys have a great weekend. I really appreciate all your support. Again, if you ever want to connect with me, I'm unfairly with 2Ys on Twitter. And again, join the Marathon Masterclass Discord. It's gonna be, the link is in the bio in the description, and we're always doing great things in there, helping people out, sharing progress, sharing tips, and reviewing clips, scenarios that people could have done better. We have a whole lot to offer in there, so come by and chill if you guys ever want to hang out, and if not, I hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend. Take care.